Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 4 discussing the biomes and biodiversity. So today, pag-uusapan natin kung paano nagkakaiba-iba ang mga lugar sa mundo based sa kanilang klima, halaman at mga hayop na naninirahan dito, which we call biomes. And we will also talk about biodiversity, or yung variety ng buhay sa bawat ecosystem, from the tiniest insect hanggang sa pinakamalaking mammal. So, alam nyo ba na sa rainforest alone, may million of species na hindi pa talaga nadidiscover hanggang ngayon? Ang cool, di ba? Ibig sabihin, sobrang rich ng biodiversity natin. Pero at the same time, kailangan natin itong protect. So, let's explore together kung ano-ano ang mga types ng biomes, paano sila nag-work, at bakit napakahalaga ng biodiversity sa balance ng ating planet.
So, moving forward, 4.1 ecological succession. So, it is a process of change in the species structure of an ecological community over time and ending with a climax community for the biome. So, this is basically the process kung saan nagbabago yung mga living organisms in an area over time. For example, a place that was just where land can slowly develop plants, then animals until it becomes a stable ecosystem, which we call the climax community. So there are types of ecological succession. So first is primary succession. So this happens in a place where no life existed before, like on bare rocks after a volcanic eruption. So dito nagsisimula talaga sa wala. Over time, unti-unting tumutubo ang mga small plants and mosses until it develops into a full ecosystem. So, second is the secondary succession. So, ito naman yung nangyayari sa mga lugar na dati may buhay na pero na-destroy. Like after a forest fire or flood. Mas mabilis ito compare sa primary succession kasi may soil at some organisms na dati nang nandun. So, third, we have autotrophic succession. So, it start with organisms that can make their own food like plants and algae. Sila yung unang nagsasettle sa area and then help produce oxygen and food for other species to survive. And lastly, we have heterotrophic succession, also called degradative succession. So, ito naman yung nagsisimula sa organism na umaasa sa iba for food like animals, bacteria, and fungi. Usually, this happens when they break down dead animals or organic material. So, we have two types of ecological system. So, first is we have the natural ecosystem. Ito yung mga ecosystem na nabubuo naturally without human help, like forests, oceans, rivers, and grasslands. Dito lahat ng living and non-living things work together on their own to keep the balance of nature. So, second is artificial or man-made ecosystem. Ito naman yung mga ecosystem na gawa or minamanage ng tao like fish ponds, aquariums, crop fields, or even zoos. Human control the environment here para mapanatili ang balance and survival ng mga organism. Biomes. So, biomes refer to the major types of ecosystem with its own temperature ranges, rainfall, and different types of organism. So, ayun, when we talk about biomes, ito yung mga malalaking uri ng ecosystem sa mundo. Bawat biome may sarili siyang klima, temperature, at amount ng ulan. Kaya iba't iba rin yung mga halaman at hayop na nabubuhay doon. For example, sa rainforest, madalas umulan at maraming puno. Habang sa desert naman, sobrang init at kakaunti lang ang halaman. So basically, biomes show kung paano nag-a-adapt ang mga living things depende sa environment nila. So, we have types of biomes. So, first is terrestrial biomes, which is the land biomes. So, first is we have the rainforest. Dito sobrang maulan at mainit ang klima. Maraming puno at iba't ibang species ng hayop at halaman na makikita rito. So, next naman is savanna. Ito yung parang grassland na may scattered trees. Madalas mainit at may wet at dry season dito. At dito rin nakatira yung mga hayop gaya ng lions at zebras. So, third is desert. Ito yung lugar na sobrang tuyo at hindi masyado maulan. Kaunti lang din ang halaman dito. Usually, mga cactus at karamihan sa mga hayop dito ay nocturnal. So, next is chaparral. It is a dry area pero hindi kasing tuyo ng desert. May mga low shrubs at plants na kayang mamuhay kahit mainit at minsan nagkakaroon ng wildfires. So, next, temperate forest. So, in temperate forest, we have 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Dito makikita yung mga deciduous trees na nalalagasan ng dahon pag taglamig. Next is grassland, mostly covered by grasses with few trees. Dito madalas nag-aalaga ng livestock like cows and sheep kasi malawak at batag ang lupa. So, next is taiga, also called boreal forest. Dito ay malamig na lugar na puno ng evergreen trees like pine. Maraming hayop dito, gaya ng bears and wolves. Lastly, tundra naman. Sobrang lamig at nagyelo halos buong taon. Konti lang ang halaman, kadalasan moss and lichens, at may mga hayop like polar bears at reindeer.
So now we are here in the second type of biomes, which is the aquatic biomes or the water biomes. So first is the marine biomes, which is covered the oceans and seas. Dito nakatira ang mga coral reefs, fish at iba pang marine species. At malaking bahagi ito ng oxygen supply natin. So next one is the estuaries. Estuaries are areas kung saan nagsasamang freshwater at saltwater. Dito nagiging nursery ground ng maraming marine animals. The third one is the freshwater biomes, include rivers, lakes, and ponds. Dito galing ang tubig na ginagamit natin sa araw-araw at tirahan din ito ng isda at amphibians. So, the next one is the lotic biomes, are moving bodies of water like rivers and streams. Yung tubig dito ay tuloy-tuloy ang agos, kaya maraming oxygen. So, lastly is lentic biomes naman, are still water like lakes and ponds. Dito makikita yung mga water plants at mga animals like frogs and fish. So, moving forward, 4.2 characteristic of each biome in the Philippines. So, here in the Philippines, we have different types of biomes because of our location and natural features. Since our country has mountains, a warm climate, and it's surrounded by ocean, it creates different ecosystem like forests, grasslands, and rivers. That's why we have a wide variety of plants and animals living here. Proceeding, 4.3 types of biodiversity. So we have 3 types of biodiversity. So first is the genetic diversity. So this talk about the differences in genes within a species. It is why no two individuals are actually the same and help species survive changes in the environment. So second is the species diversity. So this refers to the variety of living organisms in an area. It includes all kinds of life forms, from small microorganisms to big plants and animals. So, third is the ecological diversity. So, this focuses on the different ecosystem or habitats found in an area. It shows how various living things interact with each other and their environment. So, moving forward to the next slide, 4.4 Philippine biodiversity. So here we have two. So first is the floral diversity, refers to the wide variety of plant species found in the Philippines, many of which are unique and grow only in the country. So the Philippines has thousands of plant species, including unique ones like orchids, nara, and rafflesia that are found only in the country. So the next one is the faunal diversity, refers to the different kinds of animal species in the Philippines, including many rare and endemic ones. So the country is rich in animal species such as Philippine eagle, tarsier, and tamaraw, many of which are endemic and play important roles in the ecosystem. So next slide, 4.5 methods of measuring biodiversity. So here we have 3. So first is the alpha diversity. It indicates the number of species in a single community. The index can be used to compare the number of species in different ecosystem types. So, alpha diversity shows how many species live in one specific area or ecosystem and helps compare biodiversity between places. So, second is the beta diversity. So, it indicates the degree to which species composition changes along an environmental gradient. So, beta diversity measures how different one ecosystem from another based on types of species they have. So lastly is the gamma diversity. It indicates the rate at which additional species are encountered as geographical replacement within a habitat type in different localities. So gamma diversity looks at the overall biodiversity in a large region that includes several different habitats or ecosystems. So next slide is 4.6 Biogeographic Classification of the Philippines. So this page presents a report on the biogeographical classification of the Philippines. It indicates that the country is divided into 15 biogeographical zones based on their floristic, faunistic, and geological characteristics. According to the table, the total land area of the Philippines is approximately 29.6 million hectares, categorized into 3 main biodiversity levels: low, moderate, and high.
The zone with the largest area and the highest biodiversity is Mindanao, while Batangas has the lowest biodiversity. As of 2002, the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, or DNR, and other agencies implemented measures to conserve the country's natural resources and biodiversity, including establishing protected areas and conservation programs. So, overall, the report emphasizes the importance of studying and protecting the Philippines' biodiversity to ensure the preservation of its natural resources for future generations. So next is 4.7 threats to biodiversity. So these are the main factors that harm or reduce the variety of living organisms on Earth. They destroy natural habitats, affect ecosystem, and cause many species to disappear. So first is the climate change. It affects where plants and animals can live, causes extreme weather, and lead to habitat loss. So another one is the deforestation. It destroys the homes of many species and reduces oxygen production. So, next one is the mining and quarrying. It damages land, pollutes water, and removes habitat for plants and animals. So, next one is the overexploitation. When humans hunt, fish, or harvest too much, species population decline or go extinct. Next is pollution. It poisons the environment and harms both wildfire and humans. So lastly is the invasive species. They compete with native species for food and space, often causing local species to die out. So that's all. Thank you. I hope you've learned something in biomes and biodiversity. And also, I hope that you learn how to appreciate our nature and how to protect it.